What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of The Breakdown. So earlier, I saw a tweet on Twitter from a very, very important source in boxing. Well, sometimes I kind of think this guy is he doesn't know what he's talking about. But he's sometimes he's reliable as well. So I saw the tweet that said that Andre Ward has signed a multi-fight deal with HBO. So mark another one in the books for HBO. And then also he is also signed, he's also within that deal supposed to be fighting Kovalev. It can't be made official as of yet because of his upcoming fight on the undercard of Canelo and Cotto. So, and I wanted to open that up by saying, and the reason I've got HBO boxing in the background, this so far this year, or let's go back to last year, 2014. HBO took a beating to Showtime, but so far this year, HBO is giving us the fights we want to see. I'm not the biggest fan of Top Rank and Golden Boy, but they're giving us the fights we want to see, and the reason I opened up with that is because, Kovalev and Andre Ward is a fight that we definitely want to see. And, their HBO's giving it to us. Top Rank, although Andre Ward's not affiliated with Top Rank or Golden Boy, Golden Boy and Top Rank are giving us the fights we want to see. Whether it's a Golden Boy fighter versus a Golden Boy fighter, or a Golden Boy versus a Top Rank, or a Top Rank versus a Top Rank fighter. They're giving us the fights we want to see. Meanwhile, on the other side, Showtime, mainly Al Haymon, although he's not a promoter, but he is an advisor. So he's probably advising all these guys who to fight, when to fight them, and all this stuff. Meanwhile, Al Haymon, and I really want to center this video around Al Haymon, although I've got HBO boxing up here. I really want to center this video around Al Haymon and the PBC and Showtime. First, let's start off with Al Haymon, since his Haymon Boxing Group wanted to block one of my videos that I had made downing the PBC. Yeah, they did that. So, but, not a big deal. But get back on subject. I want to talk about Al Haymon because people should realize that, and I'm starting to realize it too. I used to hear Blood Boxing talk and a few of these other guys talk, and I just kind of thought they were hating. But the Al Haymon side, man, they're not giving us none of the fights we want to see, man. He's got his fighters over there cherry picking fights. I mean, Keith Thurman. I mean, he hasn't fought anybody. I mean, he fought Guerrero, but then after he fought Guerrero, he went and fought Collazo. Then Danny Garcia fought against Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, nobody wanted to see that fight. I mean, yeah, he was moving up in weight, but come on. I mean, he could have fought somebody better than that. I mean, I'll give Al Haymon credit for the Mares and Santa Cruz fight that they put on PBC. But really, ever since like the first couple of cards on PBC, the PBC has been trash. Deontay Wilder, his last couple of fights were against garbage opponents. Yeah, they might have been what you call mandatories, but Al Haymon is robbing the public, people. And like I said, I'm not like the biggest Golden Boy fan. I mean, if you listen to my previous video, if you listen to my previous videos, I'm not the biggest Top Rank fan, not the biggest Golden Boy fan. But those two promotional companies, and then those two promotional companies, along with like K2, who doesn't have any allegiance to anybody, or Rock Nation, which is what Andre Ward is with, they don't necessarily have any beef or any ego war with anybody or any allegiance to anybody. Those organizations are giving us the fights we want to see. And meanwhile, you got PBC on the other side that's got Keith Thurman over here cherry picking fights, setting Keith Thurman up with fights we don't want to see. Sean Porter is about the only one that takes fights that we actually want to see. You got Adrian Broner over here taking fights against guys named Khabib. I mean, Adrian Broner won a belt, and he was coming off of a loss, and the guy that he fought was also coming off of a loss. How do those two get together and fight for a championship belt? You see what I'm saying? Al Haymon I mean, I think people should just boycott the PBC, boycott Showtime, and I like Showtime. You know, I like Steven Espinoza and Showtime, but they're basically in cahoots with Al Heyman. Until they start giving us the fights we want to see, I think we should just keep watching HBO, because those those organizations are basically giving us the fights we want to see. I mean, come on, Kovalev, Ward, that's a fight we want to see. Definitely a fight we want to see. Cotto versus Canelo, a fight we want to see. Matisse versus Postal, that was a fight that we wanted to see. Triple G versus, although we hadn't heard of David Lemieux, I mean, they put Triple G on TV. That was a fight we wanted to see. Canelo versus Kirkland, that was a fight we wanted to see. So I can go on and on and on and on and on and down the list. They're giving us the fights we want to see. Bradley versus Rios, not necessarily a hot topic fight, but hey, you know, that fight has a lot more juice than most of the stuff that PBC has thrown out there in their primetime Saturday night slots. I'm not talking about PBC on Spike. I'm not talking about PBC on NBCSN and Bounce TV. I'm not talking about those PBC cards. I know those PBC cards are not supposed to be that great. I'm talking about PBC Saturday night prime time. Most of those fights are garbage. Adrian Broner and Sean Porter, that fight had a little bit of juice. But I mean, come on. I mean, the undercard of that fight, it was terrible. You had Errol Spence, and then the guy he was supposed to fight didn't even make weight. I mean, how many times have guys not made weight on PBC cards and then they have to go get somebody else? I mean, the PBC is just, I mean, all those guys underneath the Haymon banner, I think we should just not watch those guys until they start fighting each other. I mean, they're saying that Porter is supposed to be fighting Thurman, but I don't believe it. Thurman's not going to take a hard fight versus anybody. I mean, these guys on the PBC, they basically cherry pick. Then they finally take a fight. Then after they take a fight, they cherry pick some more. So the reason why I have HBO up here is because I'm going to support the HBO boxing. You may not like their commentary. You may not like Jim Lampley. Yeah, they may be biased, but at least they're giving us the fights that we want to see. And like I said, if that is true, that Ward is going to fight, that Andre Ward is going to fight Kovalev sometime in the future, that's once again, that's another fight we want to see. I mean, what can you say? I mean, you got Cotto Canelo in the main event, and then you got Andre Ward in the undercard. Better than anything PBC or Showtime has put out there this year. You know, I'm not giving Showtime credit for the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather because HBO was involved in that too. So HBO has just been killing the boxing, killing the matchups. Meanwhile, Al Heyman's sitting over here twiddling his thumbs, having his fighters cherry pick people. Let me know what you guys think, because as far as the Al Heyman side, I'm kind of getting fed up with it, and I'm tired of watching BS cards. But hey, it's on free TV, so you get what you pay for, right?